In this question, we have to find limit x tends to pi by 2 minus x into 10x. If we substitute limit, you will get 0 into infinity form. To solve this, let's assume this pi by 2 minus x is equal to some new variable. Let's say pi by 2 minus x is equal to y. So we can say x will be equal to pi by 2 minus y. And if x tends to pi by 2, then your y will tends to 0. So let's modify our limit. Our limit will become y tends to 0. This pi by 2 minus x is your y. And 10x will become 10 pi by 2 minus y. Now we all know that 10 pi by 2 minus y is simply cot y. Rest of the things will be as it is. So limit y tends to 0 to set into standard form, let's use x tends to 0, 10x by x. So we can say this cot y is nothing but reciprocal of 10y. So here we set limit y tends to 0, y by 10y, which is simply 1 as a final answer. Ta-da! In this question, we have to find limit x tends to pi by 2 sin 2x upon cos x. Now, in simplification, we can say this sin 2x can be simplified using the formula of sin 2 theta. So it will be 2 sin x into cos x upon cos x. Now, this cos x will cancel out and we will ready to substitute our limit. Just replace your x by pi by 2, so you'll get 2 sin pi by 2, and we all know that the value of sin pi by 2 is 1, so your final answer is 2. Ta-da! In this question, we have to find limit x tends to pi by 2 cos square x upon 1 minus sin x. Whenever we have 1 minus sin x or 1 minus cos x, it is preferable that we have to multiply and divide by its conjugate, which is 1 plus sin x. So let's multiply and divide by it. So your limit x tends to pi by 2. In numerator, we will get cos square x and 1 plus sin x. And in denominator, we have a minus b into a plus b. So it will be converted into a square minus b square. So here we'll get 1 square minus sin square x. So limit x tends to pi by 2 and your numerator will be as it is upon 1 minus sin square x, which can be converted into cos square x. So here your cos square x will cancel out and we will be ready to substitute our limit x tends to pi by 2. Just replace your x by pi by 2. So we will get 1 plus sin pi by 2. The value of sin pi by 2 is nothing but 1. So your final answer will be 2. Ta-da! Here you have to find limit x tends to pi by 3 under root of 1 minus cos 6x upon root 2 into pi by 3 minus x. Now, to simplify our function, first of all, we will try to remove this under root, and within the root we have 1 minus cos theta. We all know that 1 minus cos 2 theta is simply 2 sin square theta. So, let's simplify our numerator. This under root will be as it is, and this 1 minus cos 6x will become 2 sin square half the angle, which will be 3x. Rest of the things will be as it is. For further simplification, let's take under root individually. So here we'll get under root of 2 and sin 3x. So your root 2 will be cancelled out and we will get sin 3x upon pi by 3 minus x. Now we have to deal with this pi by 3 minus x. We know that in standard form we need one single variable in denominator. So let's assume pi by 3 minus x, which is your denominator, is equal to y. Therefore, if we interchange the positions, we will get x is equal to pi by 3 minus y. And if x tends to pi by 3, then we can say your y will tends to 0. So we are ready to modify our question. Your limit will become y tends to 0. This sin 3x will become sin 3 times pi by 3 minus y upon pi by 3 minus x will become simply y. In further simplification, we can say sin this 3 multiplied with pi by 3 will give us pi minus 3 multiplied with y will give us 3y upon y. Now we all know that sin pi minus theta, which is in second quadrant, will be positive. So here we'll get sin 3y upon y. Your limit is y tends to 0. Now we have 3y within the angle, so we need 3y in the denominator. So let's multiply and divide by 3. So we get the standard form. If y is tends to 0, that means 3y will also tends to 0. So this whole bracket will become 1 into 3, or we can say 3 is our final answer. Ta-da! Here we have to find limit x tends to a cos x minus cos a upon x minus a. Now to simplify this, we have to observe that in numerator we have c minus c form, and c minus c can be converted into minus 2ss. So let's try to convert into minus 2ss. So let's write down minus 2 sine into sine. In first angle, we have to take summation of the angle by 2, and in second, we have to take difference of angle by 2 upon x minus a. Now we already have sin x minus a upon 2, so we just need x minus a by 2. So let's multiply and divide by 2. So here this 2 will cancel out and we will get sin theta upon theta form. And if x tends to a, then we can say x minus a must be tends to 0. So we can apply the standard form of sin x by x, which will become 1. And in another sign, we just have to replace our x by a. So it will be a plus a by 2. And don't forget this negative sign. It will be here. So final answer will be minus sin a. Ta-da! In this question, we have limit x tends to pi by 4, 1 minus 10x upon x minus pi by 4, which is 0 by 0 form. Now, in simplification, let's assume your denominator, which is x minus pi by 4, is equal to y. So we will get x is equal to pi by 4 plus y. And it is clear that if x is tends to pi by 4, your y must be tends to 0. So let's modify our limit. Y tends to 0. In numerator, we'll get 1 minus this 10 pi by 4 plus y whole divided by x minus pi by 4 will simply become y. So limit y tends to 0, 1 minus this 10 alpha plus beta can be expanded using the formula of 10 alpha plus 10 beta, which is 10 alpha plus 10 beta upon 1 minus 10 alpha 10 beta. So let's simplify. It will be 10 pi by 4 plus 10y upon 1 minus 10 pi by 4 into 10y whole divided by y will as it is. Now we know that the value of 10 pi by 4 is simply 1. So limit y tends to 0. In numerator we will get 1 minus 1 plus 10y upon 1 minus 10y whole divided by y will be as it is. For more simplification, we have to take LCM. 1 minus 10y will multiply with 1, will give us 1 minus 10y minus 1 plus 10y will be as it is, whole divided by 1 minus 10y, and this y will also remain as it is. Your limit is still y tends to 0. Now here this 1 will cancel out and minus 10y will become minus 2 times 10y, and rest of the things will be as it is. Now here it is clear that we have 10y upon y, so we are ready to substitute limit. We will get minus 2, this 10y by y will become 1, and just replace your y by 0, so we will get 1 minus 10 0, which will give us minus 2 as a final answer. Ta-da! Here our limit is x tends to pi by 2. We have 1 minus sin x upon pi by 2 minus x the whole square, which is 0 by 0 form. And for simplification, let's assume this pi by 2 minus x, which is your denominator, is equal to y. So we can say your x will be pi by 2 plus y, and your x is tends to pi by 2, therefore we can say your y will tends to 0. So we can modify our limit as y tends to 0. In numerator, 1 minus sin x will actually become sin pi by 2 plus y, and in denominator, pi by 2 minus x the whole square will become y the whole square. Now limit y tends to 0. In numerator, 1 minus sin pi by 2 minus y will become cos y, because your angle is pi by 2 plus y, which is in second quadrant, and in second quadrant sine is positive, and due to this pi by 2 we have to change the function also. Upon y square will be as it is. Now we all know that whenever we have this 1 minus cos y, we have to multiply and divide by its conjugate, which is 1 plus cos y. So let's simplify. Limit y tends to 0. In numerator, we have a minus b into a plus b, which will be converted into a square minus b square. So we will get 1 square minus cos square y whole divided by y square, and this 1 plus cos y. Limit y tends to 0. This 1 minus cos square y will become sin square y, and we already have y square, and 1 upon 1 plus cos y. This sin square y upon y square can be rewritten as sin y by y the whole square. So if we apply the limit, we will get sin y by y as a 1 the whole square, and this 1 plus cos y will become 1 plus cos 0. So your final answer will be 1 by 2. Ta-da! Here your limit is x tends to pi by 3, root 3 minus 10x upon pi minus 3x. Before we go for assumption of denominator is equal to some new variable, let's take this 3 common. So we will get 1 by 3. In denominator, you will get pi by 3 minus x. Rest of the things will be as it is. So we are ready to follow our tradition of assumption of denominator is equal to y. So we can say your x is equal to pi by 3 minus y, and x tends to pi by 3. Therefore, your y will tends to 0. Now onwards, this 1 by 3 will be as it is. Your limit is changed to y tends to 0. In numerator, we will get root 3 minus 10x will become 10 pi by 3 minus y. Now, to simplify this, we have to use the formula of tan alpha minus beta, which is equal to tan alpha minus tan beta upon 1 plus tan alpha tan beta. So here we'll get 10 pi by 3 minus 10y upon 1 plus 10 pi by 3 10y, and this 1 by 3 limit y tends to 0 root 3 minus, and y will be as it is. Now we all know that 10 pi by 3 is nothing but root 3. So let's replace the value of 10 pi by 3 by root 3. In further simplification, you can say in numerator we have to take LCM, so whole bracket will multiply with root 3. So we will get root 3 plus root 3 into root 3 become 3 10y minus your root 3 minus 10y will be as it is upon 1 plus root 3 10y, and your y still remain as it is. Now 1 by 3 limit y tends to 0, and it's time to simplify our numerator. This root 3 will cancel out, and 3 10y minus minus become plus 10y will give us 4 10y upon your denominator will remain as it is. So finally we get 10y upon y, which is your standard form. So we are ready to substitute the limit 4 into 10y by y, which will become 1, and here we'll get 1 upon 1 plus root 3 tan 0, which is 0. So your final answer is 4 by 3. Ta-da!